Good day, all. This is TurboDave here at Performance Corner. Today we're talking about superchargers, tensioners, pulleys, how much tension, how much pulley do you need, not to make boost, but keep it from slipping. A lot of people, or some people, have complained about the belt slipping, and it can happen on any supercharger, any vehicle, because anything that has the belt drive on it is a accessory. So any accessory can slide. You've heard belt squeals. Sometimes that's the alternator or power steering. But in this case, when you add a supercharger, the parasitic drag is usually much higher than other vehicle or than other components like a power steering pump or an alternator. But sometimes, depending on the vehicle, this vehicle for this goes on a Ford, originally a Crown Vic, which is 4.6 liter. But this also works on a 6.2 Raptor engine. This Raptor engine I had two of them actually. One of them that we did this to, they threw the belt and it was under a load. So one of them was jumping his truck. He had like a mid-level suspension. He was pretty high up in there. He was like 5 feet up in the air. And then the other guy was just in the sand wash, just, hanging out and going through there. And I guess he got going kind of hard, and when the engine released and grabbed again from the suspension or the drive wheels leaving the ground and re-hitting the ground, the belt got enough slack in it to throw it off. And the same thing happened with the other one when he was jumping it. So what this does is, this actually, if you can see there, it kind of has like a preload, so it'll release a little bit so the tensioner doesn't take up all the slack. So when the engine comes under a heavy load and all the accessories are turning at full speed, and the engine all of a sudden slows down, you create slack, and that slack can end up throwing the belt off. Other superchargers like the 370Zs and stuff have had issues also, are actually slipping issues, not coming off this way, but slipping issues. And a lot of the guys with the 370Z kits, they ask, because there's a hole for the what looks like another pulley on the front, they want to put in another pulley. Originally it was tested to see, but the side load and already with the supercharger, the parasitic drag is already very high. So you don't want to add any more drag or put any more side load onto a pulley or a seal. A seal can be from like the power steering. If you put too much side load on it because you're loading up another accessory and you're on a serpentine belt style drive system, if you side load that bearing too much or that seal too much and it's a little older, it gets old, it can leak. So you can create a leak in the power steering, or you can make bearings go out on like the alternator or something. So there's really no use. It's more a service issue. Unless you're going up on the boost real high, then there's other issues there too. But these all have to be, taken by case issue. But I just want to show you one way if you have a Crown Vic or you have a 6.2 Raptor, you can take care of that tension issue with this. This is actually a Gates piece, and the Gates part for this is 37004P. And there it is. This is the tensioner, this is the pulley for the alternator, and it works on the 6.2 as well as the 4. It's originally for the 4.6 Crown Vic, and we use it on the 6.2 Raptor. You don't really, there comes with a cover to cover, but this is a sealed bearing, so you don't really have to cover it if you don't want to. It's just something they give in there, so nothing's gonna get in here because it's already sealed. It's not a serviceable bearing in that sense, so you don't have to worry about it. If you have a 3.7 supercharged Z, I would take a look at all the pulleys, and if you have an aftermarket crank pulley, you might want to check into that. I would definitely run either the factory drive pulley, or make sure you have a pulley that has a dampener in it and not a solid pulley on the crank. This can all be issues these can all cause issues. So you want to make sure that, and if you've undersized or anything, then you can also lose slack in your tension and loosen it. So if you run any kind of underdrive pulleys or anything like that, you want to check into that. If you're having a slipping problem after you're doing a lot of modifications, you'd want to look into the pulley sizes or the pulleys that you put on if you've changed them, and go back to a factory type pulley and then see if it continues first. If you have any questions, you can leave questions in the comments below. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. This is TurboDave at Performance Corner. We'll talk to you then. Thank you. Take care.